This is the solution to number 67 from homework 2.4. Let's talk a little bit about the function that we're given. We're given a piecewise defined function, W of H, and it's used to represent the pay for a mechanic. So it says a mechanic is paid $12 per hour for regular time and time and a half for overtime. So that time and a half is going to be $18 an hour. Okay, and regular time is up to 40 hours. So this first piece here, 12H, that gives the pay if the person works a regular number of hours, no overtime. So the amount of pay they would get would be 12 times the number of hours they work. The second piece of the function shows what happens if they work overtime. So this piece, H is greater than 40, is when overtime occurs. Okay, so what happens when there's overtime? The person gets $18 an hour for the hours above 40. That's where the H minus 40 comes in. So if you work 45 hours, you get 5 hours of overtime at $18 an hour. Then let's try to figure out what this 480 is. Why are we adding 480? 480 is the regular pay that you would get. So the regular pay of working a full work week of 40 hours times $12 an hour is $480. So that's a dissection of this function. Okay, in the first part, we're asked to evaluate the piecewise defined function. So if we want to figure out what W of 30 is, we have to choose which piece. 30 is between 0 and 40, so we're going to use the first piece. So this will be just 12 times 30, which will be $360. W of 40, we have to decide which piece. 40 is still in the domain of the first piece, so this will be 12 times 40, which will be $480. What happens when we get to 45? When we get to 45, we are going to use this second piece, so we're going to have 18 times 45 minus 40 plus 480, so that's going to be 18 times 5 plus 480. 18 times 5 plus 480 is 90 plus 480, which is 570. And W of 50, we're also on the second piece, so we'll do 18 times 50 minus 40 plus 480. So it's 18 times 10, or 180, plus 480, which is $660. For the second part, we need to modify the function such that the regular work week is now 45 hours instead of 40 hours, and overtime pay is still 1.5 rate, so they would get $18 per hour. So we want to figure out what our new W of H function is going to be. So W of H, I'm still going to have two pieces. The first piece is going to be for regular time. So that regular time is still $12 an hour times the number of hours, but it's valid for H is greater than 0 and less than or equal to 45, because you get regular pay up to 45 hours. The overtime piece, you get $18 an hour, but here we need the number of hours of overtime pay. So this expression has to be the number of hours of overtime pay. And here we get overtime for hours greater than 45. So here we're going to put in H minus 45. In the original expression we had, up here we had H minus 40. And then we have to add to that the regular pay for a full work week. All right, so the regular pay for a full work week, so I'm going to put down here regular pay for a 45-hour work week for 45 hours is going to be 45 times 12, and 45 times 12 is $540. So that's what we're going to add to this function. And this function is valid as long as H is greater than 45.